Hello everyone, my name is Nick Hackworth, and today we'll be covering 3 infographics that cover the topic of eating healthier. When it comes to picking the right foods to eat, many Americans fall on something that usually isn't too healthy. According to freshandlean.com, fast food restaurants in America serve 50 million customers per day. That's more than 15% of the population. Facts like these can be concerning, and people should be informed about these steps that they can take to lead healthier lifestyles. Let's take a closer look at some of these infographics. The first infographic I have chosen to discuss comes from the National Institute of Aging and is about choosing healthier foods as we age. There's a lot to look through when first seeing this image. The first thing that popped out to me was how organized it was. Each box had its own important fact or tip to remember. The creator of this image did a great job at not making the text so small so that it was easy to read. It covers a variety of foods that should be consumed, and on the other end, it has all the foods that should be watched out for. This gives the audience a good idea as to where the line is drawn. This was probably geared towards someone that doesn't know much about calorie intake and what foods have the best effect on the body. I like the author's thought when working with the color scheme. Green definitely represents things like fruits and vegetables, but the purple at the bottom is bold, signifying strength in the company that is providing us the information. They also did a good job writing, not using too many words, so the reader stays locked onto each cube. Since it was meant for older people with beginner's knowledge, they included a link on the bottom if anyone wanted to read more about it. I think this is a very useful tool that will prompt more people to visit the website. The author of this infographic definitely took more of a creative approach to design. The number of photos is not overwhelming, but just enough to loop someone in. I like how I am able to associate each photo with the words on the screen instead of having to search for it. The second infographic I have found comes from scripts.org. It is meant to show what kind of foods to eat for breakfast and what to avoid. The image I have chosen to dissect is very word-heavy and can be complex when first seen. There's a lot of information that needs to be unpacked. First, it has a big title, which catches the attention of any reader. It then follows with a table-like figure with big short orange letters. These letters are easy to recognize and can be seen by anyone. The author of this infographic is definitely a critical thinker. Out of all the words on this image, they are mostly proven facts with little to no bias. For each food, the author uses 2 to 3 points as to why their choice is healthier. One thing I thought of when looking at this was the audience and the amount of people that actually read it. I would think that people that lead healthier lifestyles would be looking at infographics as specific as this one. Something like what not to eat for breakfast, and then a description as to why scientifically can be daunting for people that are just starting to get into nutritional habits. This could lead to some bias towards the audience without even knowing it, and could take a toll on how many people view and take in the information provided. I also know that not everyone eats breakfast, so those that eat lunch and dinner that could have been informed are now excluded from this situation. I think it would benefit to make a chart with all 3 meals and provide some ingredients that are more common. For my infographic, I decided to take a little of the ideas from the 2 I have chosen. With the first one, I was very attracted to the color scheme and readability. The second one had a lot of good information, but it was hard to focus at times. I would also like to change it from breakfast foods to all meals of the day. I think this would be more beneficial since not everyone eats in the morning, and we would be sharing the information with the largest sum of people. I decided to use green and white as most of the colors since a lot of people correlate those with clean habits. In the middle, on the top right-hand side, I have a couple boxes that have some tips on what kinds of foods we should be attracted to and what we shouldn't, as well as how many calories a typical older person would need to intake. I used images above the text to allow the reader to make correlations with the words they read and maybe enforce the facts more. Below this, I have a pathway with 3 stops that would be easy enough to write down some comparisons of certain foods for all 3 meals of the day. I hope to do this to give readers a basic idea as to what is good for them, thus allowing them to go on and do further research themselves. Overall, I decided to go with a creative design. With the majority of it being pictures, I wanted to make it easy for people to pay attention because I was trying to reach an intended audience. Chances are, the majority of people looking at the infographic are younger, in between high school and the college age, so the idea was not to explain things to them and what to eat and those to stay away from, but to introduce them little facts that prompt readers to take actions into their own hands and further that knowledge. As a whole, I think it is important that we are educated on healthy eating habits and how to put these choices into action. The first two infographics did their job at reaching an intended audience, but I believe that mine contains the best parts from those two and works to expand the number of people that actually consume the info being displayed about what eating healthy consists of for all ages and how we can start. Thank you.